All right, so I'm off to my quarterly advertising meeting with my team members in the council. So I'm headed to Glassboro, New Jersey, and we're going to talk about this election year. So in the automotive industry, and I don't know how many other industries suffer from an election year, but we always seem to suffer in our business in an election year, and we really don't have the whole exact rhyme and reason, but it's always been a tough year in auto repair, at least at aftermarket. I'm not sure how the dealerships fare out. And we struggle to have consumers come in and spend money. And I'm sure there's a lot of uncertainty on why people are not buying new cars or not fixing their new cars. But, we try to have marketing that will bring in a consumer by staying top of mind. But anyway, I, for one, at my shop, do not gouge people with shop supplies. So there's some shops that I know for a fact, and I have a Pep Boys estimate here, and we're going to take a look at it. This is the Pep Boys estimate that they were ripping the lady off for valve covers. Now, this is for the guy who commented about me doing the valve cover gaskets 3 years ago. We don't do this lady's regular maintenance. We don't do her oil changes. She came to us for an oil change, and we're like, listen, we're too busy. She went to Pep Boys. They gave her a laundry list of shit. And we don't service this lady's car. We don't charge for shop supplies and gouge people. I know that's mandatory on certain estimates that the shop gets paid shop supplies. So here on Pep Boys is shop fees. And this was $3.99 for their shop free. I will tell you, $3.99 does not cover enough brake clean or chemicals or solvent tank time to clean someone's valve covers to brand new if they're completely pigsty. $3.99 at Pep Boys. Plus they charge another $20 for an additional warranty on top of the warranty that they give you. So when I did this lady's job, I did it personally because I'm the most efficient and fastest guy at doing the job. I didn't hot tank or parts wash her valve covers, and they're plastic, I believe, on this motor. I cleaned the inside out with brake clean and a rag, and the top side I may have just quick wiped. I don't remember from 3 years ago, but the valve covers, the cover themselves have material on it or fluid, but not leaking fluid. It just looks like old dusty fluid, and the guys in our business know what I'm talking about. But if I feel that I need more than one can of brake clean for a job, it turns into a different procedure. So that would be, detail valve covers. You follow me? Take them off, parts wash them, clean them, so on and so forth. That is not a quick wipe and clean job with a $3.99 shop fee charge. And I know other shops, regardless if they're using the materials or not, it's on the bill. Some are 10%, some are 7%, some will have a dollar amount attached to them. I do not gouge my customers that way, and I know other shops and service centers do that. So for this lady's car, knowing her financial situation after talking to her, knowing the condition of this vehicle, which is a 05 Chrysler Pacifica, would I never ever try and charge her more than she needs to spend on this car to keep it going. And that was the choice that I made 3 years ago. But the point of the matter here is Pep Boys charged $3.99 for shop fees. They doubled the labor charge on the valve covers, the labor time on the valve covers. And maybe they doubled it because they were going to clean them. Well, that could be possible. That's not documented or written that way. But I don't gouge my customers that way. If they come in and I think I can clean it up with a little bit of brake clean or a can of brake clean, because brake clean is not free, it's very expensive today, I'll charge accordingly. Or I'll just wipe it with a rag and I know that it's sufficient enough and the oil leak's resolved. But if it's a complete disaster and mess and I need to know, you're talking engine detail or you're manicuring this thing. This vehicle is not that. It's far from clean inside and out. And it also has many other issues that could use today that are not documented on the Pep Boys estimate. But the point of this video is we don't gouge people for brake clean and shop fees like that. If I need to brake clean, and trust me, my guys go through some brake clean, I will charge the customer a sufficient labor charge to use 3 or 4 cans, or sometimes 6 cans of brake clean, sometimes a case of brake clean, depending on what we're doing, because I'm not in the business of detailing people's engines, and a lot of people's engines are disgusting because they don't take them to the detail shop and have them cleaned. We're not dealing with that type of customer or vehicle. So I'll give you an example yesterday to do with the power steering pump that he had done 2 times at another shop, so he says, and the mechanic couldn't find the leak. Mind you, 2 times. So he went there, he did it, he went back, he did it again with a used part, and ever since then, who knows what that is, they've been pouring in power steering fluid enough to where it's slung under the hood, under the insulation, on the wiper cowl, all over the engine. You're not talking a shop fee charge there to clean up that fucking mess. And that's quite a bit of brake clean to clean that mess up. So certain situations warrant a little bit of brake clean, and then certain situations require a charge to clean up the mess. I call it clean up the mess charge. And if it's to the point where I got to clean up the mess, it starts at $50 depending on how bad it is, and it could be as high as $100. So if a part doesn't need to be spotless, I'm not wasting the customer's time or money or my time or expense to do that. And an experienced technician would have known that those valve cover gaskets weren't leaking if you saw the video, that the cylinder head areas where the valve cover meets it, there was no fluid. Just because there's old residue on the top of a valve cover doesn't mean that it needs valve cover gaskets. It means the last guy didn't charge the customer to detail their engine or their valve cover. So certain things require it. In my experience for the vehicles that we work on, if you're working on a newer vehicle, of course you want to make sure that it's spotless under there. I don't know how many quick loops have spilled oil or customers spilled oil all over their engines, and I really don't care. I just have to report the conditions that I find because I'm the one doing the job. But I understand what you were saying, YouTuber. I don't have your name, and I don't like to give out people's names unless you're Scotty Kilmer. But I agree. Every technician has their own path. I mean, if a 2005 Chrysler Pacifica that's in bad shape and customer really doesn't have any money, and then Pep Boys basically tried ripping her off for valve cover gaskets that she absolutely didn't need. I screwed up because I'm talking. That she absolutely didn't need. Absolutely did not need. So that's that. And I know some people charge shop supplies and they say, oh, well, it pays for everything that goes on and this, that, and the other thing. Like I said, I try not to pad the invoice, is what we used to call it in the old Midas days, padding the invoice. At one point in time, they told us cleaning, adjusting drum brakes was padding the invoice. No, that's a legit job. Trying to get old drums off of the cars that people who never had the drums removed or never had the backing plates lubricated or anything like that is a job and a half. And even on today's vehicles, if it's drum brakes, it is no longer a free brake inspection. It's called labor time to get your wheels off, and that's that. If they don't like it, I don't care, because I'm not working for free. But everyone has their own way of doing things. Kudos to you. That's why there's 10 million different places to eat for you guys, and 10 million places to buy car insurance, 10 million places to go get your car washed, 10 million places to go get your oil changed, you go where you want to go. I know people go to Jiffy Lube in Valvoline and they fuck their car up every time there and spill oil all over the place, and they don't give a shit. They don't care. And they charge them for shop supplies, but they don't clean up the oil mess that they spill all over the place, or wipe the oil pan down. We do that at our shop. We use sealant on the drain plug threads every oil change, and we wipe the oil pan down, and if there's a mess under there, and I'm not sure where it came from because we don't specialize in oil changes, so typically my customers who are my regulars, I know their history, and they drop their car off. For everyone else who's looking for a quick lube environment, check your receipt. I assure you they're charging you for shop supplies, and I see many a quick lube valve covers from spilled oil all over the place, oil filters, and so on and so forth. But that's for another discussion, another time. But I understand what you're saying, dude. My point to that video was she did not need valve cover gaskets, and an experienced technician would have looked at it like I did within 30 seconds and made a decision that it did not need valve cover gaskets. And he also probably would have been better off charging her $50 or $75 to brake clean down the top of the engine and say, hey, I can't really tell, it doesn't look like it, but I see something. It should be manicured. And if the customer declined at that point, they weren't complaining about smelling or burning oil. So that just tells me again that the valve covers weren't leaking. Thanks for watching. I got to get going.